Coming up, roses! Is everybody happy? You're all my beautiful children. You're so beautiful, I can hardly stand it. Andy Warhol was my husband. Lou Reed was my wife. And you are all my beautiful children. You're beautiful because you understand how beautiful the world is, how beautiful I am. And I tell the world, you're not paying Andrea Whips because she's beautiful, darling, but because the world is beautiful and the world must be paid back. You may not realize who I am. This generation is the slow group. Sesame Street caused brain damage, darling. Skippy peanut butter made the brain cells stick together. Have you seen the avant-garde lately? Who are those young Republicans with multiple piercings? You know, the ones who keep telling us how fab everything is. Couldn't they afford a longer adjective? It's like the made-for-TV movie of the 60s, and it isn't even in living color. Thank God I'm an acid head, darling. Thank God I'm a country girl. Yesterday I ran through the mall, lifting my velvet skirt, whispering, "Who will fill me full of jelly, custard, and cream?" People ran out shrieking. When I shriek in public, people take notice, darling. I'm a first, I'm a second, I'm a ding-dong baby, and I'm on my way up there with James Dean and Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn's been gone so many years. You better love me while you can, darling. I'm a real woman, darling. I'm a real blonde. Look at these grapefruits, darling. I'm going to be on top tonight. I'm going to call Andy Warhol, and I'm going to tell him all about you. Hello, Andy. This is Andy, darling. Do you love me, darling? I love you, darling. Hello, Andy. I love you, darling. Listen, I just met all these fabulous people, and I just know that you could make them into fairly big stars, darling. Oh, Manhattan, New York. The Factory, New York, New York. So nice, they named it twice. Oh, aluminum foil covering the walls, aluminum foil surrounding me everywhere. Andy thinks I'm on drugs. I told him I'm not on drugs, darling. I'm naturally this honest. I can't go to Max's Kansas City anymore, darling. They hate me there. Because this blonde boy, he spread salad dressing all over his chest, and then he wouldn't pay for it. So I put it on a charge and I sent it to the factory. Did I really sign Candy Darling's name? How fabulous ESP is. You don't believe in ESP? You don't believe in Jesus Christ? You don't believe in the Sisters of Mercy? I loved you when you were hated, and I hated you when you were loved. Last night I rode down in my elevator 108 times to make sure that the doorman was staying awake for the other tenants. He called me a stupid cunt, but I told him, darling, a cunt is a useful thing! Oh, I just had this vicious acid flashback. I was completely surrounded by these psychedelic rats, darling, these colored rats, but I just knew that nobody would believe me, so I brought them back. See? Look at these fabulous colors. Don't worry, darling, this is not performance art. Performance art is the vinyl miniskirt of the 80s, darling. And I'm strictly 60s. I'm going to throw the I Ching for all of you. You look like you could use it. You know how they keep talking about that big 60s revival, but it never happens? It's because they can't figure out how to make money from the values, darling! See? 3 red rats in a row. How auspicious. And a changing rat. If you were real homosexuals, you would know that this was chartreuse. Have you noticed how they keep maligning homosexuals? Why, darling? Homosexuals stay home and give flawless dinner parties. They design the clothes we wear, the movies we watch, the music we buy. It's the romosexuals they should be worried about, darling. The ones who roam the streets, not the homosexuals who stay home. You see? It's getting dull out there, darling. Dangerously dull. It's turning into a huge mall out there. Haven't you noticed? Why, I myself come from a long line that doesn't have anyone left standing in it. 15 years from now, people are going to be standing around at parties saying, I remember when there were fags and it was fabulous, darling! Face it, darling, it's racist, sexist, and homophobic out there. And if you don't believe that, you may be one of them. It's a small world, darling, but not if you have to clean it. People of the future! When you dig this up in my time capsule archives, I'm in glorious Hollywood, home of the stars. But when you unearth an underground superstar, darling, she just dries up and blows away. You see, there's a big difference between a big piece of art with a little bit of shit in it and a big piece of shit with a little bit of art in it.